You seem uncomfortable. Do it make you nervous, Corky?
No.
Thirsty, maybe.
Curious, maybe.
That's funny. I'm feeling a little bit curious myself.
The underdog believes he can do the impossible. Defeat the bully, sell enough mixtapes to get out of the hood, break enough bones to pay off his father's debt. I'm done believing. I'm gonna die today. Most people go their whole lives not knowing when they're gonna die, fearing death. But I can say with certainty, this underdog has seen his last day. But I'm okay with it. My time has come. And that's okay.
Welcome to Pleasers.
And Punishers.
Where we talk about movies people love to watch.
Movies that ruin your today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
And all things kinky and queer.
I'm Caitlin of the North.
I'm May. I'd like my hole punched, please. Schultz.
And I'm Amanda Jane Stern, reminding you that the only good Nazi is a dead Nazi.
And today we are discussing S is 'cause you're so stupid, K like the KKK, I because you're an idiot, and a Nazi too, H 'cause we hate you, E eat it every day, A 'cause you're an asshole, D disappear and go away. We want to welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. Oaktown is in the house, everyone. Oakland is in the house. It is Freaky Tales 2025. This is written and directed by Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck, starring Jay Ellis, Ben Mendelsohn, Normani, Pedro Pascal, Dominique Thorne.
Normani?
I think it's Normani.
Normani? Did I say Normani?
Mm-hmm. Like Normandy.
Yeah.
Storming the beaches of Normani.
Fifth Harmony. Crazy dancer, so good. So starring Jay Ellis, Ben Mendelsohn, Normani, Pedro Pascal, Dominique Thorne, Ji Young Yu.
Do you want to take that one more time?
No, Jack Champion and Too Short as the narrator. Music by Oakland native Raphael Sadiq.
Did you know that Ben Mendelsohn is Australian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of wild since he is Jewish, but he looks like every Australian man ever.
Yes, he really does.
He looks so Australian. He looks so much like my mom's former
I don't
husband.
know why
Just,
I
like,
never knew he was
crazy.
Australian until I was Googling him today.
Well, we have a returning guest who's ready to punch Nazis with us. You know her. You love her. It's writer and podcaster, the host of Transcending Comics, Tomi Trembath.
Hey, I'm ready to hole punch a Nazi, please.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with you, Tommy. What's your favorite punk band?
I had to really do some reflecting on this. I went through like my old Spotify likes. I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of punk on here, or a lot of what's punk is ska. So I'm like, I don't think that's what we're looking for.
Hey, you know what?
Bay
Ska's an
Area.
offshoot. It counts.
It's a lot of the Bay Area punk scene was heavily based with ska. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the
Op Ivy.
the band that I'm going with is kind of a mix of genres.
Yeah, I've got 4 answers, so...
First one that came up was Catbite. I really loved seeing them live a couple years ago. But there is a band that I first saw my first year of transition at the kind of bar where you would meet a bunch of queer punks that will beat up Nazis. And the band performing was called the 42s. And
Nice.
I looked them up ahead of time, saw they are still performing. They put out a new single this year. And
Cool.
they're performing in Chicago on the 22nd. So
Ooh.
if anyone wants to check them out, I did not recognize the venues that were on their little Spotify live performance page, but do check them out. They were a good time and cool to hang out with after their show. So check out the 42s.
Excellent. All right, Amanda, you seemed ready to go. What's your answer?
I mean, look, I do love the Dead Kennedys because, obviously, but my answer is The Cramps.
Yes.
Good answer.
It
All right,
tracks.
Yes.
Caitlin?
I mean, when I first started getting into punk, it was like a lot of Pennywise, Green Day, and Voodoo Glow Skulls. But kind of moving on from that, you know, obviously I'm from Washington. The Riot Girl scene was really big here with Slater Kinney, Bikini Kill, L7, so on and so forth. Right now, currently, I would say the Sprints, which is a garage Irish punk band. I am really, really into them. I saw them on Valentine's Day, and they were so good. It's such an excellent show. And then, I mean, I have to give a shout out to Dead Bars, which is one of the local bands here.
Cool. So, my favorite, like, OG punk band is The Clash. Can't really beat them for both catchiness and politics. Second wave, Bad Religion. They fucking rule. I don't really think they've put out a bad album. And I saw them, like, almost 5 years ago, and they still fucking rock. It's pretty amazing that they're still playing and still are as good as they are. Riot Girl, Sleater Kinney. I fucking love Sleater Kinney so much. And then for like a more pop punky feel, Alkaline Trio. I fucking love Alkaline Trio. They're one of my favorite bands of all time in general. They're my hometown heroes, and they're nice people. Punks that are nice people are some of my favorite people in the world.
Shout out to a movie I have referenced before, but The Decline of Western Civilization, Part 1,
yes.
about the end of the punk scene in 1979 LA.
There we
Great
go.
fucking movie.
Yeah, I did forget that when I was 2, my favorite band of all time, though, was the Ramones. Because my mom was like, I'm pretty sure because it was really fast, so you felt like you could dance to it. And it was really easy to, like, get the beat down when you're that young.
That's adorable.
Julian has some really good misheard lyrics for I Want to Be Sedated.
Excellent.
It's like, his version of it is, put me in a suitcase, hit me on the head. Hurry, 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 I might already be dead.
Well, speaking of very dangerous things that you can do in the bedroom, let's get into some role play.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim. All your life.
Oakland, California, 1987. On a TV, we see a commercial for basketball player Sleepy Floyd's Mind Wide Awake seminar, sponsored by Cytopics. Chapter 1, Strength in Numbers. Gilman Strikes Back. 3 friends, Tina, Lucid, and Kohlrabi, walk out of a showing of The Lost Boys, and I love that they're like, I can't believe the grandpa didn't tell them there were vampires here. Just excellent. And they immediately get harassed by a group of skinheads in a pickup truck. They then attend an Op Ivy show at 924 Gilman, the famous Oakland punk club, and a group of the skinheads crash the concert and start beating the shit out of people, including vocalist Jessie, as well as destroying the band's equipment. Tina and Lucid go back to her place to patch each other up and have dinner with her family.
I'd like to call out, like, I definitely got a little bit of trans vibes coming from that patching each other up in the bathroom scene. Specifically the way Lucid winces when he's called tough guy.
I mean, I think that's more because that's what the skinhead called him after he hit him and knocked him down. That's why he winced at that.
Okay, I didn't put those two together, but I don't know, there's a lightly queer vibe to both of them. Like, I think give him a couple of years, maybe I'd crack, and what's her name?
Definite queer vibes.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think
Tina.
she needs a label, but I think they'll come across they, them someday and be like,
Well, I also saw Tina and Barbie kind of upnod each other at the theater, and I was thinking,
But Lucid's complete lack of, like, machismo and, like, not, you know, doing the performative masculinity, I'm like, I think there's a reason for that, and I think there's a reason this very queer-coded punk girl is into you.
I also think they're setting up the difference of, like, different levels of masculinity, that the Nazis are this machismo stupid bullshit, whereas Lucid is a soft boy, and that's okay, but he will still fight back because rules don't apply to Nazis.
I don't know if I'd call him a soft boy, because I always feel like soft boy has a negative connotation. Like, soft boys are pretending to be something they're not in order to get into places or people that they normally wouldn't have access to, and then they let that facade go. So I don't think of him as a soft boy.
Oh, that's what I think of as a nice guy.
I feel like soft boy is the current version of nice guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm defining this wrong.
So, okay, if we're talking romance novel, he's a golden retriever boyfriend.
Yes, there we go. Okay.
It's interesting, though, because bringing that up just because in the documentary Turn It Around, the story of East Bay Punk, they actually talk a lot about that and like some of the musicians coming out of really toxically masculine situations at home, or the difference between like you had the punks, you had, jocks who were way more aggressive a lot of times and scary than, the people who are actually there to just have a good time and listen to music and thrash a little.
Decline of Western civilization also is very much about how the punk scene was such an open place. And then you kind of contrast it in part 2 with the metal scene, which is much more sexist and much more machismo, versus the welcoming nature of the punk scene being infiltrated by these Nazi punks. So it's like, no, this is not for you. You do not belong here. This is Nazi punks. Fuck off.
Yes. At a meeting at Gilman, the community decide to fight back against the Nazis, and we get a training and weapon crafting montage set to Ready to Fight by Negative Approach. When the skinheads show up in even greater numbers, the punks are truly ready to fight. Tina saves Lucid using the spiked bracelet that he gifted her, which is now imbued with a glowing green energy. And one of the Nazis gets set on fire by a Molotov cocktail, sending the rest of them running away like fucking cowards. Back in the club, Negative Approach plays the cover of Black Flag's Rise Above, and Tina and Lucid kiss in the middle of the crowd. So fucking cute. Chapter 2, Don't Fight the Feeling. Starting on the same night as the first segment, Entice and Barbie walk out of the same screening of Lost Boys and get yelled at by the skinheads.
And also make the joke about the grandfather.
Yes.
Everyone was really mad at him for not telling,
I wish this joke continued through the rest of the movie. Like,
right?
maybe by the end, it should have been someone coming out of Ishtar, like, damn it, we couldn't get into Lost Boys.
Lenny G, who is a local DJ, invites the ladies, who are a rap duo called Danger Zone, to a battle rap.
I guess I should say that character is based off of Freddie B, who was Too Short's actual rap duo partner for a while, so.
Cool. The next day at their ice cream shop job, a cop played by Ben Mendelsohn comes in and acts creepy as hell. Sexist, racist, just
Punchable.
nasty.
Deeply punchable.
Yeah, he needs his hole punched.
He's so good. Like,
He's so good at being a piece of shit.
yeah.
I feel like I've only seen him in one thing where he's not a piece of shit, and that was The Outsider, the limited series on HBO.
God, so good.
Which I loved. Loved
I was
that.
just watching and being like, God, they are correct. Australians do a lot less, but just say so much more with their acting.
It's true. On the bus, Barbie and Entice talk about Cytopics and their friend Yolanda, who used to work there and supposedly started bleeding from her eyes and ears after about 6 months. At Sweet Jimmy's, they head to the green room and come across rapper Too Short eating some pussy before his set. Danger Zone get brought up onto the stage to battle Too Short. Entice's mic glows green just before they start, and they absolutely hand him his ass, so he graciously concedes. Their bus gets struck by green lightning, and Marshawn Lynch drives it off into the sky.
He's just trying to restore his community. He's out there doing the work. Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch. There's because he was a Seattle Seahawks player. We have a local plumbing business called like Beacon Plumbing, and they had a bunch of Seahawks players, like as part. I think one of them, maybe Doug Baldwin, was part owner or something. So they had a bunch of Seahawks players, and there's one where there's a family who's just like, oh no, our sink's not working. And Marshawn just comes in and they all go, Marshawn Lynch! It's amazing.
I'm going to have to try to find that clip on YouTube so I can put it into the episode because that sounds delightful.
It's pretty great.
Wait a second. Aren't you...
Marshawn Lynch, stop freaking.
Call Beacon.
Beast mode.
What can I do for you?
Oh, I think it's just clogged.
Here's the problem right here. What's next?
I think we're gonna have to take the whole toilet out.
Got it. What's next? You all good here?
So go with Seattle's winning team and go beast mode on your plumbing problems.
Hey, wait. Stop freaking. Call Beacon.
Just want to call out, as soon as that bus starts glowing and flying away, I'm like, oh, it's like Repo Man if it was fun to watch.
Damn, burn on Repo Man. Chapter 3, Born to Mac. And that's when my brain started playing Return of the Mac. Clint, played by Pedro Pascal, calls Dr. Seal from a payphone and finds out his wife died and their baby is in the NICU but is unresponsive. There are also police at the hospital who want to ask him some questions. 24 hours earlier, Clint and his wife Grace discuss watching Sid and Nancy before he heads into a video store.
She said we'd use the money for drugs. That's one of my mom's favorite movies. I've seen it so many times.
The clerk is played by Tom Hanks, and he acts just like an 80s video store clerk would act by being a dick. But a well-informed and kind of funny dick. Clint requests Big Trouble in Little China, Tough Guys, Ruthless People, and The Color of Money, which is code that he's actually there to head into the back where there is a secret poker game so he can collect a debt from a guy named Blowhard.
Are we just going to pass that Tom Hanks does an entire Watch Mojo segment of top 5 underdog movies?
So good.
My post synopsis question was almost going to be, what's your favorite underdog movie?
I like what you came up with more.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I did want to know, did any of you know what the number 1 movie was that Tom Hanks was building up?
It's a Breaking Away. So it is, 1979. Dennis Quaid's in it, and it was actually Daniel Stern's first role.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
I hadn't either.
Neither have I.
I had to look up like a list of underdog movies and then cross-reference that with a list from 1979 and went from there.
So by the end of it, you were doing a Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't Norma Ray.
The trivia fact is either on the movie's Wikipedia or IMDb page because I read it there.
That's really funny. No, like
you did the hard way to find.
Went to a library for it.
I know. I got some microfiche. Looked it up.
Oh God, I miss microfiche in movies, so I always love it when they still use it. Because Blowhard is short on payment, Clint breaks one of his fingers, and that means he's now retired. He buys Sid and Nancy on VHS as a gift for Grace, but before they can drive away, a guy whose dad was killed by Clint 7 years earlier walks up to confront him. Grace shoots the guy, but his gun goes off, hitting her in her very pregnant belly, and Clint rushes them to the hospital. Back out of the flashback, Clint prepares to shoot himself in the head, but is interrupted by a kid who trades him a mixtape for the basketball tickets that he got from Blowhard.
That mixtape is so good.
It's so good.
There's so
Every
much on
single thing he named that was on there, other than Metallica. Y'all know I don't love Metallica. But it's basically like the soundtrack for this movie, which is pretty perfect.
Yeah. He name drops Grateful Dead, and I have no idea where they were in the movie. I didn't remember there being a 30-minute guitar solo and an acid trip somewhere in there.
Okay, maybe not everything on the mixtape is in the movie, and you know what? I'm thankful for that because I do not like the Grateful Dead.
See, I'm over here I do like the Grateful Dead, and I do like Metallica because I'm kind of a 70-year-old man.
I could not.
You're pretty hot for a 70-year-old man.
Thank you so much.
I don't think I could. I don't really care about the Grateful Dead, is what I'm going to say. I like the Casey Jones is on cocaine song, but other than that,
I think the kid was just reading Pedro Pascal is sad dad, not for revenge reasons, but more she took the kids' reasons. Was like, he wanted to mention
This kid
Grateful
is
Dead.
adorable.
Oh my god, he's
This
great.
kid is adorable.
I love it when he winks at Clint before
so
he
cute.
starts. It's so good. So Clint heads into Dick's restaurant where his contact ignores his retirement and Clint burns the envelope that he was given because he's got nothing left to lose. Which means the guy is gonna send everyone after him. Before he leaves, he tells Tina to aim for the neck when she uses her spiked bracelet on the Nazis.
And she does.
Oh, yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yeah. Before he can leave the parking lot, a pair of cops pick him up to help identify a suspect, and he monologues in the car about it being his time. The guy, a.k.a. Pervy McPerverson from the ice cream shop, a.k.a. Ben Mendelsohn, lights Clint's cigarette before handing him the phone, and Dr. Seal tells Clint that his daughter pulled through. Clint refuses to ID the shooter, who lets out a single glowing green tear, and then Clint heads off to the hospital to pick up his baby. Chapter 4, The Legend of Sleepy Floyd. Who, by the way, so hot.
Yes.
Floyd is so hot.
Like the real one or Jay Ellis?
Jay Ellis.
Oh, it's like, oh, Jay Ellis. Thank you, Lawrence. We just want Issa to find love.
Jay Ellis is fucking hot.
Back at Skinhead Central on the non-party floor, Angus Cloud runs down a list of players on the Golden State Warriors for the guy, who also turns out to be the head skinhead's dad.
Yeah, that tracks.
Remember last week when we talked about cops and racism and being part of all of this? Wild that it would come up again.
No idea what you're talking about.
And the cops are part of it.
There's no answer. What is hot?
So they settle on Sleepy Floyd, who has a hidden vault in his house filled with rare Asian artifacts. On May 10th, during the big game, a bunch of crews rip off a bunch of players' houses, and Sleepy Floyd's mom, brother, and girlfriend head home early due to mom's tummy being upset from eating 2 hot dogs. I love the, detailed description of her trying to go vegetarian, but then having a hard time because of where she lives and having to reintroduce meat into her diet, and that 1 hot dog probably would have been fine, but 2 hot dogs was too many, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That all checks out, because that happens every time you try to cut meat out of your diet and then bring it back in.
Also, a hot dog is a wild way to just dive head first right into that.
Yeah, that's not how you reintroduce.
No.
Something significantly less processed.
Yeah, you start with a grilled chicken breast.
Yeah.
As Floyd wins the game and goes out with his siblings to celebrate, the guys in his house shoot his loved ones. When Floyd and his siblings arrive home, the cops inform him that his brother is in a coma, his mom is alive but out cold, and his girlfriend Andrea is dead.
I'm so glad mom didn't die. I've seen this before. Spoiler alert. I've seen this before, and I forgot that everyone doesn't die in that moment. So I was like, oh, thank God.
Tina and Lucid, right before their fight with the Nazis, call the house and inform Floyd of who caused the tragedy. So Floyd heads into his vault where he meditates, then gears up for an all-out assault against his enemies. He eviscerates the Nazis with his magical martial arts abilities, and I cannot overemphasize how much this sequence kicks fucking ass. It's 5 or 6 minutes long or something of him just destroying Nazis.
I mean, is there any such thing as too long to watch Nazis get eviscerated? I don't think so.
If we need to prove it to you that the scene is incredibly fucking badass, Metallica is playing in this scene and May still loves it.
It's true. And then it switches songs a couple times and it's all 3 songs work so well. And the fight choreography here is exquisite. It's so good.
I also love how they do the Bruce Lee yellow jumpsuit without actually doing it. And it's just enough to just a taste as a treat.
Yes. He comes upon the home office where the guy has taken Clint and his baby hostage. So he kills Angus with an axe to the head, and then the guy finds him meditating in the living room amongst all the dead Nazis.
It would be so peaceful.
Right?
It's his happy place.
Yeah, I'd be mine too. I mean, it might smell a little bit, but you know.
Floyd uses his glowing green magic powers to literally explode the guy, and the skinheads arrive home as Clint leaves with his baby to the sound of Public Image Limited's The Order of Death. One of my favorite PIL songs, by the way. That's why I wanted to call it out. And yeah, Johnny Rotten fucking sucks now, but Public Image Limited was fucking great, and Martin is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. He runs the Post-Punk and Industrial Museum here in Chicago. If you've never gone there, check it out. Floyd rides home on his motorcycle before we cut to the filming of his commercial featuring a bunch of the other characters from the film. While the credits roll, we get some bloopers and an awesome Danger Zone music video.
What an incredible callback, by the way, to
Yes.
show the same commercial. Like, wait, I recognize all those people now. Whoa.
It's great. Okay, so that is Freaky Tales. This movie's mostly about punching and killing Nazis, so what would you make as your Nazi fighting weapon?
Pliers.
Just pliers?
Pliers.
For ripping out teeth?
And fingernails and joints and whatever else.
Stab, stab, stab.
Big,
Sting, sting,
big
sting.
pliers.
Get
Oh,
right
okay,
to the
so
neck.
not like needle nose pliers.
I would
Extra
do needle nose, 'cause
big
then
pliers.
you could jab 'em.
I would do like a set of pliers so I could like pull different things off at once. Like pliers big enough to, okay, they wouldn't need to be that big to rip off a Nazi's penis. Those are pretty small. Needle nose pliers are perfect for that.
You heard it here first. Nazis have tiny dicks. Not
Yes.
that there's anything wrong with having a tiny dick if you're okay having a tiny dick.
But if you're not,
Nazis
clearly.
don't want tiny dicks, and they have tiny dicks.
Yep.
All right, Caitlin, are you going with needle nose pliers?
No.
Or... Okay.
I
okay.
don't think mine was nearly as interesting, though, because I was like, well, why don't you just bring a gun?
Because you want to watch their pain.
I mean, kneecapping.
True.
A hammer,
Do a hammer.
ice
My
pick,
fists of
ice
fury.
pick lobotomies. Those are fun.
I mean, I think I would just pick up whatever was around. I mean, really, if
Well,
you're
I mean,
going
this is you
out-
like preparing and like making a custom weapon, the way they do in the movie.
Yes. I don't probably a baseball bat. Baseball bat with either like nails in it and barbed wire. I think that would be. I played softball, so that just kind of makes sense. You can really swing those things like nobody's business.
Nice. All right, Tommy, what about you?
Caitlin beat me to a barbed wire bat.
That's
so-
wild.
At first, I didn't. When Amanda said pliers, I heard fires. And I think I'll just go with that. Fire.
Burn them. The god of
Those are also
hairspray.
fun.
Is it Paleolithic or Neolithic? when did Quest for Fire happen?
You take your hairspray, you take the lighter,
Yes.
and you Buffy his face.
Yes. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with a soldering iron with a portable power supply that is wrapped in not barbed wire, but razor wire.
Ooh.
Now, you would think that would help them because it might cauterize their wounds, but it's not going to make contact with them long enough to actually do that, so it's just gonna burn them while it cuts them, and that's gonna hurt really, really bad.
Team burn it down.
Piano wire would also be fun.
Ooh, just garroting a bunch of them. Yeah.
Just jump on their back and garrote them.
Yeah.
God, YouTube is going to take this episode down. But you know what? Before they do that, let me just say, Nazi ideology is inherently violent, and you cannot meet that level of violence with pacifism. The only way to beat a Nazi is to kill a fucking Nazi and everything they stand for.
Correct.
We had a war about this. This is not up for debate.
It's America's favorite war, too.
Right?
Right? This is
And
this is
yet-
not up for debate.
I think I've said this, but I know the guy who punched Alex Jones in the face when he came to Seattle. And
Hero.
yeah, one, people thought he was a plant. I was like, well, he's not a plant. I know that guy. Two, that there were a lot of people like, you can't do that. And we're just like,
I know. Like, you can't do that. You can't meet them with violence. And it's like, they are inherently violent. Everything they stand for is to the detriment and literal death of everybody else. You cannot meet that with words. You have to root it out violently. That's the only way to meet Nazism. As they say in this movie, rules don't apply to Nazis.
Correct. Yeah, it's the paradox of tolerance. The only thing that we cannot tolerate is intolerance itself. When intolerance leads to the material harm of entire groups of people simply for existing, the only way to defeat that is with violence. And, I used to call myself a pacifist, and I don't anymore because I'm not. I know that violence sometimes is, unfortunately, the answer. And I wish that more people in real life were willing to fight for that at this point. We need people who are willing to throw down and kick the shit out of and maybe even mortally wound Nazis, because that's the only way we're going to fix this.
We need to make Nazis feel shame again. We need to push them back into those dark corners from whence they climbed, where they knew that if they espoused their stupid fucking ideology, people would turn them down. And now they're just out there being loud. No. They need to feel shame. They need to feel bad. They need to feel like everybody else hates them, because you know what? Fuck them.
Yes. Well, don't fuck them.
Not in the sexy way. Fuck them up.
Y'all see that video circling around Bsky again recently of the crowd in Hawaii just beating the shit out of that lone ICE agent?
No.
I haven't.
I was so sad because, he just takes it, gets up, keeps getting beaten down. Turned out it was a guy dressed as an ICE agent for some kind of parade or event. I'm still glad that happened,
Why would
though.
you dress as an ICE agent for funsies? If you were dressing as an ICE agent for funsies, then clearly you probably agree with that ideology. So you are, ICE light?
That's wild.
Yeah, in a way it's good, because now they can't, kill these people in retaliation, or they don't have the infrastructure to, track down everyone involved in this video, because I wasn't an official ICE agent. And still, we got to see an ICE agent get their ass kicked, or show people, if you do this, people will kick your fucking ass. And I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Look, in Germany, after World War II, they literally criminalized Nazism and speech that is pro-Nazi.
Yeah. Be nice if we had those rules here and they were actually enforced. But who's gonna enforce them, right?
Oh, if you want to have that First Amendment, I could debate the First Amendment until we're blue in the face, because Jesus fucking Christ, it does not mean you can say whatever the fuck you want. It means that you can criticize the government without the government coming down on you.
Which also is not true anymore.
Nope, it's not true anymore. That is what it was, and should still be.
Yeah. All right, well, this was my first watch of this movie. Caitlin, this was your pick, and I'm so glad you picked it. You've been telling me to watch this movie since it became available on streaming, and I kind of wish I had watched it sooner, but at the same time, I'm glad I waited till today, because I really needed it. I cried 3 times watching this movie because of the catharsis that I got of seeing communities come together to fight fascism. And again, I wish that was happening in a more consistent and material way in the real world right now. And there are people who are trying. We just need more. We need more.
And look, not every answer has to be you being physically violent. You could just be people on a podcast being outspoken and saying it like it is. That also counts. But you have to put your money where your mouth is and keep fighting the fucking fight. Because there's nothing okay until Nazism is fully rooted out. Nazism, fascism, all of that. Root it out.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Right? I was like, I'm a big fan of writing to your elected officials. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah,
I'm a
call them.
Huge fan of that.
All right, Amanda, this was a first watch for you as well, right?
Yeah, this was the first watch. Okay. I also like watching Nazis get their ass handed to them.
Yeah, it's great. Tommy, you picked coming on this episode, so you had seen this before, right?
Yeah, over the last holidays, my girlfriend showed me this. My partner, Ari, who has impeccable taste in all things, she showed me this and The Last Dragon over the same holiday break. And
wait, The Last Dragon, the movie about the guy who's obsessed with Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
I love that movie. I was obsessed with that when I was a kid. So
And,
good.
Like, for further viewing, anyone who likes this, The Last Dragon is like the authentic version of this. Like, this is taking place in the 80s. The Last Dragon is the version of this that the 80s actually made. So I think there's a lot of overlap. There's martial arts, there's people glowing, some level of superhuman powers, fighting kind of fashy white guys that aren't explicitly Nazis in The Last Dragon, but close enough. Yeah, it rules. But this also great. And I once again ran into a case, like, I showed another friend this week as I rewatched it, and they're like, oh my gosh, Tommy, you have great taste. And I'm like, I keep hearing that whenever I show people things my partner has shown me. So I have secondhand wonderful taste.
Excellent. All right, and Caitlin, as mentioned, this was your pick. So how did you first come across this?
Well, when it originally hit streaming, it was on HBO Max, and it was front and center, and I was like, I probably literally was like, Lawrence, we should watch this! Because Brian and I, during the pandemic, went through and just watched all of Insecure. So it's like just super stoked for Jay Ellis, and at the time, I didn't know how many, like, really fucking cool actors were in it before I pressed play. And, I mean, I had an absolute blast. I may have texted you. I texted someone, and I was just like,
you
this
texted
movie
me
kills
while you watched
Nazis.
it. Yeah.
I am having the best time. Like, I love this movie. It made it onto, like, my top, usually I pick like 13 or 14. It's very, very funny to me just how consistent it has been without me even trying. But like, it was on my list of favorite movies last year. I just thought it nailed everything it was trying to say.
Nice. All right. Well, speaking of nailing things, let's go to our next section, Faith and Chance.
I can't exist by myself because I'm afraid of myself. Because I'm the maker of my own evil. Goodness is only some kind of reflection upon evil. That's all it is.
Okay, so today, instead of telling you what was going on in movies literally last year, I'm instead going to give you a brief history of cinematically fucking up Nazis.
Woo!
Yay, jazz hands!
Jazz hands!
Alrighty, so
Spirit
dating back-
fingers, everyone. Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers or practice fingers?
Practice fingers! Oh, practice fingers take on a whole new meaning now. Okay, so dating back.
Y'all, if you're not watching the show on video on Spotify or YouTube, you're really missing out.
Dating back to the early days of World War II, filmmakers were using their art to denounce Hitler, usually by portraying him and Nazis as jokes. Charlie Chaplin made The Great Dictator in 1940, before the US had even joined the war. We were still being like, nah, Germany's okay. And Chaplin said, fuck that. And he made a movie that faced censorship and controversy, and he still said, yeah, but I need to make a statement. We're not talking about Chaplin's own controversies, which are not the same as Nazism, so we're not going there right now. But Great Dictator, great movie, fully lampoons Hitler.
It was just funny the way you kind of said that. So like, great dictator, great fascism, love it all.
Charlie Chaplin, a great dictator.
1942 sees To Be or Not to Be with Carol Lombard, which follows a Polish acting troupe that basically it's a long plot. It gets remade in the 80s by Mel Brooks, again making fun of the Nazis. And these movies, and also throughout the 40s, Hitchcock made a whole bunch of anti-Nazi thrillers. Literally every other Hitchcock movie that comes out of the World War II era and the post-war era is anti-Nazi. Even the ones that you're not thinking are going to end up being a parable about Nazis or directly about Nazis and how evil they are, it's about how much Nazis suck. These movies transition into the Nazi hunting movies of the late 60s and 70s. So you get movies like Boys from Brazil. These are not as overt about punching Nazis, but about hunting them down, about the Nazis who escaped after the war ended.
Also, just quick note, the stormtroopers and the Empire in Star Wars.
Yes.
That's the Nazis.
Yes,
and
I was going with things fully overt.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that out there because it seems like a lot of people have kind of lost that thread.
Yeah, usually when there's an evil empire in a movie that's post the 40s, that evil empire is based on Nazis. Mm-hmm. Just so you know.
Hey, sometimes it's us.
Yes. Sometimes it's us or Nazis. Or other fascists. Which brings us to Indiana Nazis. I hate these guys. Jones. In 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it's cathartic to watch Nazis meet a grisly end, and they melt at the end of this movie.
The Ark of the Covenant melts all of the Nazis because even God hates Nazis.
Have you seen that TikTok about what your conservative dad thinks the new Indiana Jones is going to be?
No.
Wonderful. It's like, the name's Indiana Jones, he, him. Cracks the whip. Sorry, I was stimming.
Oh my god.
Incredible. In the middle, he drops his, I really hate Nazis line. I said that in the old ones too. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Nazi punching movies are alive and well. Some semi more recent examples, but also dating back to the 90s, include Inglourious Bastards, the Bsky series, of which we have a third coming out. So if you want to watch a teenage girl just absolutely eviscerate a bunch of Nazis, they are fun. Sisu, the Rocketeer.
Sisu. I also love the Rocketeer.
Green Room. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I love all of
Great
these
dress.
movies. I don't know what I'm
Great
talking
Nazi
about.
punching. And so many more. So the takeaway here is punch some Nazis, people.
Yes, it's good for you.
When I worked at the Museum of Pop Culture and we went down into I think it was still the Science Fiction Museum at that time. They went through 50 million name changes. They had the Rocketeer costume, and I got so excited. This was the thing that was the most exciting to me. I watched that movie so many times growing up.
I almost bought a replica of her white dress as a wedding dress.
Oh, wow.
Billy Campbell.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I went with a vintage dress, so I was looking at vintage and things that were replications of vintage costumes, and I almost did that.
Can we go back to the days where cops and the mob would team up to fight Nazis rather than cops just
part of it?
Being the Nazis?
Yeah.
Well, no. So historically, it depends on regionally where you're speaking of who the cops aligned with. Because obviously we're talking a place like the Northeast, which doesn't have a prevalence of, the KKK, where the cops are aligning more with the mob. Sure, if we're talking the South where they're the KKK. No.
Still there.
Yep.
There's all the jokes about your high school bully grows up to become a cop and everyone's like, yeah, that checks out. The worst part is he's the good cop on the force. Your high school bully might be the least problematic cop on the force.
Sometimes I wonder what any of my high school bullies are up to, and then I go, I hope they're dead.
Oh, my high school bully. She actually became a musician, and at one point on Facebook posted this whole thing, an anti-bullying thing, and I was like, bitch. And I said, bitch. You were so
I said,
mean to me. I cannot believe you were writing this right now with nothing saying, hey, I was
nothing
shitty.
I was a bully. Wow.
Speaking of these freaky tales, though, can we call out the song kinda sucks, right?
Oh, so this is actually really funny because this is actually a Too Short song, and I will just go ahead and get right to that one. No, so
it's not good.
Yeah, all of these stories are based on true events, not unfortunately, Sleepy Floyd going and eviscerating a bunch of people. But a lot of these are based on true, at least very much based on...
the core kernels of the story.
Yes.
A whiff.
So what I read and watched, these are my sources. QED.com had some great articles. The 27 best Freaky Tale Easter eggs and cameos for Oakland locals, and the real-life tales behind Freaky Tales. Various interviews with Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. And then Turn It Around, the story of East Bay Punk, directed by Corbett Redford. I'm pretty sure I wrote that wrong. It might have been Redford, who was one of actually the technical advisors on Freaky Tales. Like, they brought in everyone who they were portraying to make sure that they were cool and felt good about it. I know Operation Ivy got to choose who portrayed them, and I believe it's Gulch, who is no longer a band.
Oh, that's too bad. They were good.
I gotta say, I kind of sound like I'm from the Bay Area right now. It's a little smoky outside. So, yeah, Too Short and Danger Zone, and this is really funny. So, Ryan Fleck is from Oakland. He's from the Bay Area. Anna Boden is from Massachusetts. So, she didn't grow up with any of this. This is really Ryan Fleck for 15 years be like, I want to make this movie, and going through different iterations. And the thing is that, obviously, Too Short was huge in the 80s. It was really like him, MC Hammer, who was part of Oaktown. Maybe, I don't think it was Oaktown Boys, but he had like he was part of a different group before he was a solo artist. And Tupac Shakur, all who started like in 85, I believe, in the Bay Area as well. So you have like these people, really big, very influential in rap at the time. However, Too Short, Anna Boden was like, I don't get this. This is extremely misogynistic. Because she listened to it like as an adult woman. And she's like, this is not, no, what is this? Until she heard Don't Fight the Feeling, which is an actual song between Danger Zone and Too Short. So Danger Zone was an actual group. One of them, Tamara Goins, was in Tice. She was 15 at the time. Because, it was the 80s. No one was watching anyone. Your parents didn't know where you were at any given time. You're just out there.
Do you know where your children are?
No. My mom never knew where I was. It was great. So, Fight the Feeling, it's really interesting listening to Tamara Goins talk about this. Actually, everyone talk about this. Because Too Short's thing, he was super sexual. Not really deep, but very sexual. He referred to like women as head doctors. And so in Danger Zone, this didn't happen in public, is the thing. So this was in the studio, and they were told to like come up with verses, and apparently no one knew that they were going to go so hard into it. Had no idea. So the people who were recording had to keep leaving because they were laughing so hard because it was so good. And then when Too Short got their verses and was listening to it, he's like, oh, they ripped me to shreds. Oh no. So he changed up the song a little bit to also go back at them. And yeah, it was really interesting with Tara be like, I was 50. The bubba.
If you're not watching, you're missing a special guest appearance from Buka, who also says, punch Nazis.
Yes, Buka says, punch Nazis! Punch Nazis! Punch Nazis!
We should get Buka a little Rocketeer costume.
Buka as a Rocketeer would be so cute.
Oh, Finn. The other member of Danger Zone, not Entice, Barbie, she is actually living in Ghana now and is a musician. So, nice. Yeah, I will say this is not my kind of thing. It's not my favorite kind of hip hop. It And it's really indicative of what Too Short was doing at the time. Apparently, as I read, he might have been like the first person to use the word bitch in rap song.
Oh. Well, hey, it seems like he's come a long way, and at least he's humble enough to let this movie show him getting his ass handed to him
making
while he's
fun
being
of his
misogynistic.
teeth, his penis, just, all of the things. But it is funny because this is an actual song by Too Short, is Freaky Tales.
It's not a great
about
song.
him.
Yeah, when everyone in the crowd starts singing it, I'm like, that didn't happen. No one would do that.
I know, it's like, it was the 80s. We released it. This is the song. Okay.
Oh, this one's
Okay.
a bop, yeah.
It's not Tupac. That is what we're saying. It is a Tupac.
I mean, it rhymes at least.
Wow, y'all are being real
I
harsh.
know.
I thought this was fun. I mean, it was, it's a little ridiculous. It's early. It's the early days of like,
yeah. Oh yeah, and he's like early
but it's also the
20s
early
too.
days
Yeah,
of,
really early
of
days,
battle rap,
yeah.
and it's, it's about poking fun. And
Hey, the girls really do hand him his ass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So great. So great. But yeah, definitely early days of hip hop, early days, like you said, rap battles, and his sound still was incredibly influential at the time with West Coast hip hop. So we'll call that out. Is it a great song? A great song? No.
It's a song.
Other things, though, as we talked about, the 924 Gilman iconic punk club where Operation Ivy played and ended. Funny enough, Green Day didn't actually get to play during the initial 87 run because the club was first only open from like the very end of 1986 like to 1988. So when the people who were running it were like, we can't run this anymore, is for a variety of reasons. I don't think they did the best job telling people of why, with a handwritten note on the door. But then it was reopened with a lot of people who were volunteers, former volunteers, all of that.
Chapter 3, the nugget of truth in that. Tom Hanks really was annoying people in video stores in the 1980s. That was true. That based on true events.
He sold concessions for the Oakland A's when he was 14. All true.
That's fucking incredible. I love that. One of the producers on the film had the last name Hanks. Is that like his daughter?
Ooh, I don't know.
He does have a few kids, including Chet.
Yeah, we don't talk about Chet. Didn't we talk about Tom Hanks last time you were on, Tommy? Because Mazes and Monsters came out, the like anti-Dungeons and Dragons movie that he was in the 80s.
This sounds familiar. I think that did in fact happen.
That's
wild. All right. Well, we're 2 for 2 with
Tom Hanks.
And
that's a real video store, or at least was a real video store. It was open 24 hours a day. Less.
Hell yeah.
I was going to just say something about Green Day. It's really funny to me that they didn't get to play during the initial 87 run because the guy who was running the place said they were too poppy. Like, you can't do this. You're too poppy, which they're like, there were a lot of bands that played there that were not punk at the very, very beginning. And Billy Joe Armstrong just be like, it was crushing for a 16-year-old. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But then he's one of the executive producers of that documentary.
Oh yeah, it's
also it's on YouTube. It's free. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Turn It Around: The Story of East Bay Punk. It is fantastic. Maeve watched it recently, and I was in the room for a bunch of it,
really,
and I was just like,
it's 2.5 hours of just a punk rock history of the. Mm-hmm. Of that area, particularly, again, Berkeley, which is where 924 Gilman was. It was in Berkeley. Mm-hmm. Without Oakland cops, we wouldn't have gotten the Black Panthers. So then we have Eric Sleepy Floyd, this everything that he did in that game was a real thing. Game 4 of the 1875. 1987.
Wow, those 1875 NBA playoffs.
One of those
What
I
a
just made
time.
up out of nowhere, the way I looked at that. 1987 NBA playoffs, the Warriors were down 3-0 in the series to the Lakers. They trailed 102-88 going into the fourth quarter. Floyd scored that 29 points in the fourth quarter. This is the postseason records that still is held today. Postseason record for points scored in a single quarter by a single player. And then he also set the postseason record for most points scored in the second half by a single player with 39. Still stands today. Who could say what happened there? But the Lakers were they were the big ones to beat at that point. So this was I believe this is before the Bulls became really ascendant. I won't go into any more basketball talk. It hurts my soul. So, side topics isn't necessarily anything specific. This is a quote from one of those articles that I read on the KQED. Director Ryan Fleck explained that Side Topics was based just on these weird, quote, weird spiritual centers that were all over the Bay Area in 1987. I just remember lo-fi commercials selling you this kind of spiritual wish fulfillment on television.
So, like, probably related to Scientology
little bit,
but
yep.
not quite as culty.
Yes, but pretty culty and so, and you know, people were just coming out of the whole hippie thing and making that for the 80s, particularly the late 80s. I feel like some of this may have come up in VHS in 1985, so.
Everyone was racing to write The Secret. Only one of them could do it first.
I love that you said The Secret, all went, so many, self-help, wellness, mishigas. It came out last year. It premiered at Sundance, January 2024. Theatrical release, which I actually didn't even know it had a theatrical release, was in April 2025. Again, I thought it was straight to HBO, which is why I was so pissed when I went to look for it and went, oh, it's not streaming on HBO anymore. You have to go through Prime to stream it.
Yeah. But it's also on sale right now for $5 in 4K to buy on Prime.
To license
and,
it from Amazon.
I'm going to watch this movie over and over and over.
Until they
so
delete
I paid
it from
$5.
your library.
I did think it was a very good deal at that point, and they're the only ones who are offering that deal right now. I don't know when you're listening to this, dear sinners, but if you're listening to it close to when it came out, I would say buy it. As I said, Ryan Fleck had been different versions of this for about 15 years, and he does have this vision of like freaky tales for multiple cities. So if you're someone who really loves your city and has like a cool story to tell, I don't know, hit him up.
I think that a Chicago freaky tales, especially if they set it like in the first half of the 20th century, could be really fucking good.
Sorry, I just thought I was like, I said something. I'm like, oh, that was so East Coast. I'm like, what? Not East Coast. That was so West Coast. What did they say immediately? Right, hella. I was like, oh, that's hella dope. I love it.
Hear me out. We go really period piece with it. That strange green glow is the Chicago Fire.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, my
I
God.
love that.
It could just be Go Honest Sludge. I mean, they made a short, these filmmakers, called Go Honest. I live right near Go Honest in Brooklyn. We've got the Go Honest Canal. It's the Venice of Brooklyn. It's
I
gross.
don't know what that is.
Oh, it's the most disgusting canal ever. It smells.
There's a lot of disgusting
There's a
waterways in
guy
New
who
York.
made a song about it called Toxic Sludge, about the sludge in the Go Honest Canal.
Okay.
I mean, its name is basically Go Anus. Like, of
Yes.
course it's full of sludge.
Well, it's Go W Anus. So go win, Anus.
Gow, my anus.
All right. Well, this has a 75% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 153 reviews with an average of 6.4 out of 10. Has a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 3.4 out of 5 or a 6.8 out of 10 on Letterboxd. And to all of that, and to you, Amanda, because I saw you rating on Letterboxd, that's too low.
I think it's a little messy. I think it's kind of shaggy.
Oof, I wholeheartedly disagree. This is
I love Nazi punching, but I think there are some storytelling problems.
Okay.
I disagree.
I can justify a 4 because the song sucks. Amanda, is your rating lower than a 4?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a
I don't
3.
think it's a 4. I think it's very shaggy.
This is a 5 fucking star movie for me.
I don't think all of the order of the vignettes work the way they are. I think some are longer than they need to be. I think there's some pacing problems. I don't know that they coalesce as well as they should.
Wow.
You know, I'll at least give that chapter 3, I don't feel like it fits in as much as it could, or like if you removed that.
But then you wouldn't have.
I also think you could reorder chapters 1 and 2 because it's more build up this way. But because you've started with such beautiful Nazi punching for me, it feels like a huge change between the two. And I know that it's partially to introduce us to the guy, but then it just narratively it doesn't fully track for me.
Hey, you know what? It's okay to be wrong. And speaking of wrong, let's make that money. And now we'll dig into the meat. We'll dig out some Nazi guts in a section we call Enough is a Myth.
No. I've done enough.
Enough is a myth.
Okay, so we're going to get into some of what I also, a problem I had here. But the two people who get murdered in this movie, I'm not counting Nazis, rules don't apply to Nazis, are Clint's wife and Floyd's girlfriend. Both of these deaths spur on the men's next actions. Does this movie kind of fall into the fridging the women trope? Is this being done intentionally to make a point, or is it just a little lazy?
I don't think this is fridging. I think that with Clint's story, it makes sense because he is trying to get out of being like a professional hitman or enforcer, whatever you want to call his role. And his wife gets killed accidentally. And yes, that does motivate him to kind of just throw his hands up and go, whatever. But then the fact that his child does not die is what makes him go, no, you know what? I do have something to live for, and I'm going to actually get out of this life, which he still would have done if his wife didn't die. So I don't think it's fridging. And I also don't think it's fridging with Floyd's girlfriend, because I think whether it was his girlfriend or his mom or his brother, who was also at the house and got shot, I think it would have had the same effect.
And I think it should have been the brother who died and not the girlfriend. I think that would actually change it for me, that it just feels like such a lazy thing that we've killed the woman.
I mean, it's also taking place in 1987 and playing into some 80s movies tropes. So I think that's part of why it happens.
Definitely, at least for Clint's wife, that I feel that it's very, like, even if it is tropey, which it is playing into a very specific trope that was really popular in the 80s, especially because they took a lot of inspiration from movies at the time as well. So I can absolutely see how this could be fridging, really with Clint's wife more so, because Sleepy Floyd's girlfriend is such a non-character. I mean, we see his mom, his girlfriend, and his brother, like, and they're gone, like, so fast. So those characters have obviously no interiority whatsoever. And part of it is because the first people that we do, I don't know if they killed any Nazis outside Gilman in this movie, Well, they lit that one guy on fire.
Yeah, that one guy.
One guy is not okay.
Rules don't apply. What Nazis exist on screen to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because those were kind of the first people to die, particularly them being white, because these are also obviously both women of color who get killed. I feel like it doesn't play quite into as many of those stereotypes, but I absolutely see what you are saying.
I think with Clint's wife, I definitely don't see that as fridging because it's like a consequence of Clint's own actions, or like he's not spurred into revenge by it. Like this is more just, the sum total of his life choices up to this point catching up to him.
He's more spurred into revenge because he knows they're going to come after his kid. Because when he was like, I have nothing to lose, I don't care anymore, I'm not going to do anything, it's once he gets the Bubba.
See, I think for me, it's more the thing of one female love interest after the other. That, yes, Clint's wife serves more of a purpose versus Andrea. Because the Nazi at the beginning, it's like a soldier in a scene that's at war. Like, that's not a named character. It's not someone who you know. It's not someone who emotionally means anything to any other character. They exist on screen to serve a purpose, and that purpose is the statement that they're making politically and the fact that they serve a screen purpose to die. The women are named characters even if you know one more than the other. So setting up two sequences in a row where it's the love interest who gets murdered, that's where, for me, I was just like, okay, I know it's a trope. That doesn't mean we need to do it.
I can be a little more forgiving because, I also see part 4 is just being a pulpy action movie for a bit, and it fucking rules. And if we had no good, strong female characters in the whole movie, I'd be like, come on, guys. But I'm like, nah, we're front-loaded with female characters that I fucking love. So I'm like, okay. And this is just, I've seen fridging done in a really invasive way that feels gross. This didn't immediately read as that to me. There's almost just Sleepy Floyd, the sanctity of his home and his family has been taken. And it's certainly a choice that it's his girlfriend out of any of them that dies. In no case is it ever just the woman dying that I feel like is motivating action. So, okay, this is not cut and dry fridging.
I think we kind of talked about this already, but there are 4 interconnected stories and freaky tales that each serve to introduce elements leading up to the Nazi busting conclusion. Do you feel that any of these segments feel a little disconnected from the rest of the movie? Do you think they all work as they are? We know how I feel.
I do think they all work, and I love that you have little moments of overlap between them. No one calls Pulp Fiction an anthology film. But this works kind of like Pulp Fiction, where you have characters from the different segments who interact with each other at various points and are all essentially working toward the same goal of let's build community and let's punch some Nazis. And I feel like those 2 through lines are really important. Having those moments of overlap and having some of those moments of overlap not just be moments, but actual story beats, I think really, really helps solidify this. And I can't remember if I already said this, but at this point, this is my favorite anthology film ever. I know I said that VHS 85 was my favorite anthology film, but then I watched this and I was like, oh, this is a 5-star movie, and I love everything that this movie is doing. I love the way it tells these stories. And I think that while Clint's story is a bit different from the others, I think you need that moment where it kind of dips down and it's not as actiony or confrontational as the other segments so that you can build back up to that final segment.
I have a thought on things tying together. I feel like this needed a 5th chapter, or just leaving it at 4 seemed like a weird number to me. If there's a weak moment of this is just connection ex machina, it's Sleepy Floyd getting the call from the characters in the beginning and then being like, hey, we know exactly what happened because we also did this today, or we had our little Blue Velvet Mysteries moment. I would have liked to see that, or I think you needed like a little dose of Magnolia in here of like someone else that's like a minor role in this, like other decisions that were made today made things pay off. Like Clint sparing the man that killed his wife. I think that character has a lot going on with him. And we know he studies psytropics, because we didn't mention this in the summary, but he tries to like blow up Clint's head in the video store. Just he only gets a nosebleed. So clearly...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I totally skipped over that.
He also has a connection with Sleepy Floyd, or like knowing a little bit about this telepathy stuff. So like, okay, if he had just gone to jail because he got identified, then like Sleepy Floyd wouldn't have gotten his revenge. And that character himself, like, oh yeah, he sees his dad get murdered and then dedicates himself to vengeance and gets it, and it's like a bad situation and like you shouldn't have done that. I feel like there's more to see of that character, and I think that's something that maybe could have pulled this movie together a little bit more.
Oh, so a chapter 5 focused more on him. I
Or just more
like
of the
that
characters
idea.
coming together.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, getting to see Sleepy Floyd interact with those kids in a scene could be cool. I know we do get that confirmation in the beginning and the end, but so it's a nice little puzzle piece.
That's part of why you should flip the first two, because you have the connection of Barbie and Tina doing the up nod, and then you'd go into the Tina the Nazi punching, and you would have seen the first people, and then that's when you also meet Pedro Pascal for the first time. So it's like you see them, and that's where I think that's part of my like shagginess, is that is a build-up versus a boom down boom boom. Like that's strange storytelling to me.
That's fair. Still, only 3 stars.
Shaggy. I think it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All right.
3.5 at least.
We went with different Shaggies. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm just feeling salty today, so.
Well, hey, Amanda, you know what I think you could use? Punching a Nazi.
I could. That would be very fun.
Maeve. Did Maeve just walk by in the background?
We're having quite the time today with our other people who live with us.
That's true. All right.
Did anyone else have anything to add? Are we moving?
Yeah, as someone who's not a huge fan of anthology movies...
Wait, I don't think you've ever mentioned...
I know, I haven't done every single episode this month. One of the things I do really like about this is I feel like it does have a bit more of a narrative. It is connected.
This feels less
One of the reasons I love
anthology
Trick or
and more
Treat,
intentional chapters building up to one thing. And that's where I agree with Tommy of like having the characters interact more. So it really becomes like a big crescendo.
Am I the only one here that actually loves anthologies?
No,
May loves anthologies.
This month was my
anthologies.
idea, and like several of the picks were my picks.
It's me and Caitlin who don't love anthologies.
Yes.
Like,
No,
I'm in anthologies.
I mean, the
comic
one
ones, yes, but yeah, like they're my favorite type of horror movies. They're also perfect like background Halloween party movies. Like you only have to tune in a bit at a time.
That
like,
is true.
Tales from the Dark Side, like great party movie.
Okay, softball question here. This movie was clearly heavily influenced by movies of the 80s in terms of its visual style. What did you notice as its biggest cinematic influences that you could pick out?
I mean, they love David Lynch.
I loved Blue Velvet.
Reanimator with the green
Scanners.
hue glowing.
Yeah,
Scanners.
Scanners.
They bring up quite a few times.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say
at
it.
the end.
You guys see that part in Scanners where that dude's head blows up? I'm not sure what else specifically, but this feels pretty authentically 1987 in a way that I know we had a few issues with VHS 1985 and how some of the segments feel authentic, some of them feel like vague,
90s.
and then some of them feel 90s.
Yes,
but
the punks in this actually felt like they were 80s dressed, not 70s, not 90s.
No, and can we just take a moment to talk about how absolutely fucking gorgeous Tina is? Oh my god, I would have been in love with her if I was in that scene.
She was also wearing a lot of band shirts, and I think on her jacket as well of actual bands that played at Gilman, and a lot of, I believe, like female fronted or all like women punk bands.
Just as a bonus, one of the commercials that we see where it's that bald guy with a beard talking about Cytopics.
Oh, yes, that's Tim Armstrong!
Yeah, that's Tim Armstrong from Op Ivy and Rancid. I love that he made an appearance in this because he was obviously, big at Gilman.
Let's see. I already called out my influences with The Last Dragon, a little bit of Repo Man. It's got some elements of one of my favorite comics, The Invisibles by Grant Morrison, which often gets...
Oh my god.
Yeah, like... Okay, you know it, Caitlin?
Yes, yeah. A big nerd.
The big green light and stuff. Like, that's Barbellith. Like, this totally could take place in the Invisibles universe.
But that green light is also Big Trouble in Little China.
I was about to say, I just realized Big Trouble in Little China is the big one.
Yeah, it's the green light.
Yeah.
I also think this, I don't see it as an influence, but maybe a response to Stranger Things. Like, this is like if Stranger Things was written by people that have black friends. So...
All right. On that note,
that is it.
Let's play a game.
Bring down the house lights.
Good.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
All right, Caitlin, what's our game?
Okay, so at one point, guess which movie that they were talking about for underdog movies. But apparently that was part of the IMDb trivia. It's definitely not on the Wikipedia because I read Wikipedia, but usually IMDb, I don't want to have anything to do with it because I don't like the interface.
Oh, you mean because it was designed in 1990 and not changed since?
It's so bad. It's so bad. And so my game, it didn't turn out. I'm just going to say it didn't.
People are?
No, I was going to say since this movie came out in 2024, but really in 2025, put the actors that we have here, Jack Champion, Jay Ellis, Ben Mendelsohn, Pedro Pascal, Dominique Thorne, and Ji Young Yu, and not Normani because this was her first movie that she did. Put them in order who was in the most properties between 2024 and 2025. I mean, I think the first one is obvious if anyone wants to go for
Well,
that.
I mean, Pedro Pascal and Ben Mendelsohn have massive credits. Also, Star Wars stuff.
For both of them.
Yeah. I feel like Pedro is probably top and then Ben.
I know Jack Champion was in a bunch of stuff, including Scream 6. So,
okay.
But I don't know most of these other actors. I didn't know who Jay Ellis was, I didn't know who Dominique Thorne was, and I didn't know who Ji Young Yu was before I watched this.
So I'm going to go Pedro Pascal, Ben, Jack, Jay, Dominique, and Ji Young, because I know them the least as well.
Yeah, I only
Anyone
kind
have
of
other
recognize
guesses?
Ben Mendelsohn even at that. I'm like, oh yeah, Pedro Pascal, and then a bunch of other folks happen to be in this.
Pedro Pascal very much wins this. He was in Counting Freaky Tales, Drive Away Dolls, The Uninvited, The Wild Robot,
the Penis Collector,
Gladiator 2, Eddington, Materialist, and The Fantastic Four First Steps, all between the last 2 years, which is why I think a lot of people are like, we are getting Pascal fatigue.
Well, and that doesn't even count the Mandalorian stuff.
We're getting Pascal
Well, no one saw that,
fatigue?
so...
Also, if you're getting Pascal fatigue, that's a skills issue, baby.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is amazing. He loves his trans sisters
Oh my
so
God.
much, and
How
he's
are
so
you-
supportive of the queer community.
Who is getting Pedro Pascal fatigue?
Weak-minded fools.
Agreed.
Yep, and I actually think some of it did have to do with how supportive. That was
Oh,
the
it's
cat.
homophobia. And transphobia.
Yeah, he has not come out at any point,
Oh, that boy's
but
bi.
he definitely
Yeah.
gives very hard, I am part of the community vibes.
Oh, you mean because when there were photos of him, like, with his hand on another guy's ass and they're kissing and they're
Just
paparazzi shots?
Just little things like that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so, and then next on the list is everyone else, because they all were in 4 different properties that year.
So my order was right.
2 years. It was technically correct. When I started to look at it, and I went, God damn it. Jay Ellis, he was also in this thing called The Gutter, Running Point, and All Her Fault. I don't know any of those.
I know All Her Fault. Isn't that the Sarah Snook show?
Oh, there are 2. Yeah, actually, there are 2 TV shows in there. Running Point and All Her Fault are TV shows. Ben Mendelsohn was in Roof Man, which I forgot, with Charming Taint Man. The New Look, and he was in Andor.
Did you say Charming Taint Man?
That's an It's Always Sunny quote. Yes, I did. Oh my God. They're doing a Magic Mike thing, and Charlie can't pronounce Channing Tatum, so she calls him Charming Taint Man. And so now, almost all the time when I have a Channing Tatum movie that I am reviewing on Letterboxd, it will absolutely say Charming Taint Man was charming. Like, loads of charisma. I don't know what else to say about loads of charisma. Excellent dancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Ji Young-yu, though, is pretty golden, you guys, because she was one of the K-pop demon hunters.
I still need to watch
One of the
that.
voices.
Me too.
It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Jack Champion was in Everything's Going to Be Great, Trap House, and then something I have definitely not seen, but a little movie called Avatar, Fire and Ash. Just wrapping this up, Dominique Thorne is part of the Marvel Universe, so she lent her voice to What If Ironheart. She actually is Ironheart. Spoiler alert, I have no idea.
And she plays Barbie?
And yes, and again, this was really her first movie that she did.
She was
Been in a lot of
good.
music
Normani
videos.
was good.
She's so
better
good.
She was
actor
great.
than Camila Cabello, for sure.
I don't know who that is.
Also, Fifth Harmony?
Harmony?
Harmony.
It was like
Fifth Harmony. They were
Fifth Harmony.
bandmates.
And they were bandmates.
No, they were
And
actually
she's
just bandmates.
also like
Normani's queer.
Oh my god,
Camila
she's
is not.
incredible. In her, and in Wet Ass Pussy, she is just like crazy dancing. It's wonderful. I love it.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then Marvel Zombies. So Dominique Thorne,
Nice.
big in the nerd community. So
Cool.
thank you.
All
Is that
right.
all her Marvel stuff is the what if I didn't watch it genre?
What if I didn't watch it?
I stole that joke. Shout out to
That's very good.
oh shit. Shout out because I'm
Shout out to Ocean.
Shout out!
shout out
I
to
didn't.
friend.
All I'm saying is I did not come up with this, but
All right, how are we categorizing this movie? For me, it's a top of the top pleaser. You got an amazing anthology movie. It's fun. It feels authentic to the time period it's representing. The music is great. I don't care what you say about the rap battle song. I enjoyed it.
oh, the rap battle song I think it's awesome. I will say
Yeah,
I thought
that
it was
rules.
Freaky Tales.
I think the girls are
Yes.
great.
Yeah,
No, we think the Freaky
we're talking about
Tales
Freaky
song
Tales.
is what's crappy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yes.
I feel like y'all were conflating the two songs.
No. We thought the Freaky Tales song was
Yes,
stupid.
yes.
Okay.
Danger
yes.
Zone did no wrong. Freaky Tales is just a shitty song.
Yeah,
Got
he
it.
was not as good at the rap battle as Danger Zone was, but they were great.
Okay, got it. I rescind my comment. Anyway, everything about this movie works for me, and it is also extremely fun and, again, very cathartic. Watching communities come together to fight fascism is really powerful and inspirational, and it makes me want to get out there and punch some fucking Nazis. So, yeah, pleaser all the way.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
I mean, just that from the first vignette, like perfect or like sold. I think that's why I will stick by it being the first one, because like, I sit down and watch this with a friend, and like everyone's excited to see another hour of this movie after that.
I'll say for me, also, obviously, I did not grow up in California. I lived in California for a little bit when I was growing up. Grew up in Washington. But anything like that is this West Coast, I just get so excited about as well. I love the West Coast. I've lived in Washington, Oregon, and California. So I am just right there. And how they, again, you could tell that someone who lived there and loved living there wrote this, and I am never going to be mad. Other than, my dude, you really need to stop drinking and driving. I love Marshawn Lynch. You're rich enough, you could call a fucking car. Stop drinking and driving. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I might have issues, but it's still a pleaser. Anything that is about punching Nazis is inherently a pleaser.
I think I literally like cheered the first time I watched it.
Oh, we were cheering.
Next to Brett, I'm just like,
yeah, we were cheering in our apartment. It was a lot of Nazi blood and guts. Good.
All right. Anyone have any final thoughts?
No.
Other than Nazis
Nazis
suck? Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's the takeaway, isn't it?
I guess, my one thing we didn't really talk about is how under the radar this went. Like, a lot of the internet comments about this are like, how have I not heard of this?
Yep.
I blame Sundance or just the festival circuit. I kind of hate the festival circuit because it seems like you'll just never know when these movies are going to be somewhere you can watch them. And this... I think this needed to have a cultural moment. It didn't get.
It's not the festival circuit. It's the distribution that comes after the festival circuit, and it's them not marketing because they don't market anymore, so it falls on the filmmakers. None of us knew this got a theatrical.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Right.
I thought it was.
If I had known, I would have gone and fucking seen it.
Things these days get dumped. And the entire distribution system is fully broken. There have always been issues with it, but at least when you look back at, the golden age of the studio system, it was studios that actually were in the business of making movies. That's what they wanted to do. But now the studios have their fingers in so many different things that they're not really movie studios anymore. They're just these big, evil corporations of stupid.
It's true. And on that note, let's wrap up with what awaits us next time.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police, not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
And that brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey, fellow travelers. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review wherever you can, because it helps more people find the show, and it makes us all tingly inside. And we actually got an email recently from our friend Johnny. Johnny says, "Hello there, my name is Johnny, very avid participant on the Nightlight Pod Discord, and ever since May recommended this podcast, I've been hooked. Listening while working makes my days so much better. It's good to hear the intelligent insights you have on the movies, because I'm still behind on watching a lot of movies, especially older and obscure ones. But regardless, I love the vulnerability on some episodes, and I can tell that you all love what you do. Keep up the good work." Thank you so much, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny.
You are a gem. I love it when you send in EVPs for Nightlight that I get to edit into the episodes, and I'm so glad that you reached out to us and that you like the show. And thank you also for being a patron. And if any of you listeners would like to be patrons, you can get more of us over at patreon.com/podcastperverts. We are still doing some cool stuff this August, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you head over there.
And we really do read all your emails and text each other about them.
We do. You can also find us on Instagram at Pleasers and Punishers, and on Blue Sky at Pleasers Punishers. If you want to email us, you can do so at pleaserspunisherspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Everson Poe. You can find my music under the same name. And you can hear me podcasting on Tender Subject and Slayerfest 98. Caitlin, where can you be found?
I can be found at Caitlin of the North on Threads and Instagram, Cat of the North on Letterboxd, and I just keep popping up on Fuck My Hellmouth, the People Under the Scares Buffy watch-along on their Patreon.
Amanda, where can you be found?
I can be found on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at Amanda Jane Stern. You can also hear me podcasting on Murder Made Fiction, which this is our last episode of August. So starting in September will be a video podcast with me as the solo host.
Woo!
So very scary. Thank you. I will have guests on. Caitlin will be one of my first guests for Bonnie and Clyde month. But yes.
Block Party Summer.
It will be. Well, Julian likes to say I went from being a podcast with 2 hosts to 1 host leaving, and now I'm starting with one of the most famous, murderous couples.
Excellent. All right. And Tommy, thank you again so much for joining us. This was a blast. And where can people find you if they want to?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I've been loving being part of the show and listening frequently. You can find me on Blue Sky as at Tomi Trembath. That's Tomi Trembath. On Instagram as Keymaster Collective. You can hear me podcasting on Transcending Comics and Giant Sized Violence. And keep an eye out this November. I'm going to have a pinball comic featured in a women's sports anthology from Lifeline Comics. And at least one person on this podcast can attest that I'm good at pinball in a really sexy way.
This might have been in a text thread that
I can definitely confirm that one of Tommy's flirting techniques is kicking your ass at pinball, and it really worked on me.
Yeah, I just won my first tournament. I won't say how many people were in it, but...
So would you say you're a pinball wizard?
Maybe a little bit. I might have done a fashion drop.
Wait, but your name is Tommy.
That's... No one's made that connection before. Great job, Amanda.
Tommy.
Can you hear me? Can you feel me?
I've never actually seen that movie. I've just seen the Elton John scene.
Oh, I mean, that's not the best scene.
No,
I've only seen the Happy Jack scene.
It's a Ken Russell movie.
I know.
It's not my favorite Ken Russell. That's The Devil's. Also, I'm more into Listomania than Tommy, because Listomania also is a Nazi punching movie.
True.
That's good. If you're looking for the Who and other musicals, Quadrophenia's there as well.
Quadrophenia. Great.
I will say, Tommy's jacket from that movie, I made sure to put in there. So, yeah,
excellent.
For any fashionistas out there, keep an eye out for it.
All right, and next week's episode will mark the beginning of Spaced Out September with everyone's favorite unofficial Hellraiser in space, Event Horizon. Y'all, I am so excited to talk about this fucking movie, and I'm excited to tell you about why it's so important to me. But until then, do some aftercare, clean your toys, set healthy boundaries, and...
when it comes to nonviolence, the rules don't apply to Nazis.
They sure fucking don't.
Bingo.